All right. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel that's scattered on the four corners of the earth, the seed of Yaakov. And also shalom to Rebirth leadership overall. Our vision is to awaken, to restore, and to prepare. Awaken you to your true identity. Restore you to your original purpose in the covenant. And prepare you for prophetic end-time events. That is what we're doing as Rebirth. That's our vision. That's the direction in which we're going. Now, I'm going to try to do this maybe 3 times a week if I can. Do a quick little audio snippet, different things on leadership, so you can be developing and growing. We decided to slow the touring down after this year so we can start pouring more into the people. But we believe that it's extremely important to understand one of the first keys of leadership, which is humility. You have to be humble. That's one of the first things that people said when we go to these different cities, that they said that they love to see about us and what drawn them to us is the humility that we have as we teach it. Like it said about Moses, that he was one of the most meekest men upon earth. That's something that we can learn from. And I think about the disciples when they asked the Mashiach, they asked the Mashiach, who would be greatest in the kingdom? Now, when you think about that mindset, that question alone shows you that their desire to have elevation over each other. That shows the ambition to be put in a type of hierarchy, to be placed over each other. So in their mind, in the kingdom, they want the prestige in the kingdom. They desire their name and lights, in so many words, and different things like that. But watch what the Mashiach did to cut that in them. Because Mashiach was always looking for weaknesses that would hinder his vision within the people, within the men that he was preparing. Watch what he said. He said, the greatest among you shall be servants of them all. So what is he showing you there? He's showing you in order to lead, you must first have the perspective that you are a servant, not a lord or king over the people. But you are into servant leadership, finding out different ways that you can serve the people to develop them for the kingdom. Now that is the key and that is important. That take what hierarchy and prestige and that type of ambition, of what the Bible calls youthful lust, out of the way. Because what? Now I'm serving you. This is why the Most High and the Mashiach would also, even as their leader, wash their feet as a lowly servant. So what was he showing them in the midst of that? He was trying to show them that it's important to have the mentality that I have to serve this people, and individuality has to lead. What do I mean by that? In the kingdom, there can't be an individual. There must be thinking about the whole community as a whole. So even everything that I'm doing, all the praying that I'm doing, all the fasting that I'm doing, it's not for myself, but it's to develop me, to position myself to be a better servant to the people. My faith, the developing of my faith, is not for myself. The things that the Most High does for me according to my faith is used after he do it to encourage another person to know that the Most High will develop them, or will do the things that they desire him to do for them. All my researching and study is not just for me in my home. You'll begin to realize that you're researching, you're studying what? To feed the people. And you'll understand that everybody has to eat, and don't everybody eat the same way. You might have in your gathering people that are experienced. You might have people that are in the middle. And you might have people that are babes. So you got to be able to serve each and every one of them and feed everybody without what? Your flesh getting in the way. And thinking that you can just say one blanket statement and feed everybody. No, everybody has to eat according to the level that they're on. So your mentality must be how can I develop myself to be as more of a servant for these people? To be of a servant in order to develop their spiritual growth to a greater level. And sometimes that's not just worried about them. That's saying, okay, well, I got some character flaws that I know right now that can hinder me feeding some people. So I have to work on that. Let me get that together. Let me work on myself and develop myself so I can be more of a servant. If I know I'm quick-tempered, that's something that's going to come up as a leader. If I know I'm irritable when dealing with people, that's something that's going to come up as a leader. And I got to be big enough to realize that about myself and start working on those things. Because the bottom line, we want to be used by the Most High. We don't want nothing in us to be able to stop where the Most High had to pass over us and use somebody else, because we will not to get rid of this character flaw. Everything that I'm doing, I'm developing myself to become what? A servant leader for the people. So if the greatest among you shall serve, you got to remember that you'll be a servant of them all, and humility is the key of that. So this is why, even when I go to different cities, I listen to the people and find out, how can I feed this people? I give you a point of example. I couldn't go in South Carolina the same way I went in Texas. And I couldn't go to Gainesville the same way that I went into Texas. Why? Because the people was different. And they eat different based off of what they have, how they have been grown. I say it like that. So I have to see it takes the Ruach to do that. And that's why you must have the Ruach, so he can teach you how to feed your audience. And that's why I can't make the same statement all the time. Because one statement in one city, everybody might congratulate and be like, yeah, that's good. And then the same statement in another city might be rejected. And now I'm not saying that you give up your conviction and your standard, but it's some things that you can say in their own type of spirit and lose this audience that was waiting on you in this other city. So my audiences, me and Josh's audiences were different, because in the end, what did Paul say? Paul said, I became all so I may win all. When Paul was touring and going to these different places, he started noticing that. He said, to the Jew, I became Jews. He said to the, in so many words, to the Jew I became Jews, to the Greeks I became Greeks, in so many words, to the, it depends on who his audience was. He didn't lose his conviction, but he used wisdom to learn that they eat different. So I got to get down on your level in order to draw you. The stuff that if I get invited to a church to speak, I would have to use different terms than if I get invited on the street corner to witness and bring people in. So you got to be to the point where you can be the Most High secret weapon. Wherever he puts you, you know how to cater to that audience in order to win them overall. Because you can put the same type of standard that you have in somebody, but you have to get to know them first and use wisdom in order to draw them for. That's why the scriptures say he that wins souls is what? Wise. So it's important as leaders to learn, okay, I have to have a servant mentality. I have to know my audience and allow the Spirit to lead me on how to speak to that audience without dropping my standard. You see what I'm saying? But it takes humility in order to do that. And that's why it's important who you put yourself under. And leaders, I'm telling you this, there's nothing wrong with listening to other groups and different things like that. But whoever you listen to, consistently you take on their spirit. So you have to be careful of that's why I told you guys to pray, to see if the Most High leading you in this vision, because this vision is not like everybody other vision. Some other people that you might listen to, they might do different things that's in this vision that's not going to be allowed to do amongst the leaders. So that's why it's important for you to pray and seek the Most High to see if you're supposed to be a part of this vision or not. And that's why we're going to be pushing the vision even more, the direction and the way we're going. So I think that is important to understand servant leadership and humility. I should be able to go anywhere. I should be able to go to a hotel and draw the people the right way. I should be able to go on the street corner and draw the people the right way. I should be able to go even in a church, even a Western church building with people in there, and still hit them with enough to pique their interest to draw them in, and I can do that. I had to use wisdom because I used to bang on everybody. It didn't matter where I go. I would just bang, bang, bang. But I had to use wisdom, and the Spirit had to show me, look, my people is caught up in that. So it's a wisdom that you have to use in order to draw them. What? I had to first humble myself because I was ready to what? To bang. Because I had an opportunity to finally say what's always in me, and everything that they doing wrong I wanted to bring up and show. But did I win them that way? No. So I had to use wisdom in a way to still have a standard, still draw them in, but gracefully bring them in. And us as leaders, I'm telling you, because in the end, the Most High gonna want to know, did you do the will that I desired you to do when I placed you in front of these people? He don't want to have to pass up nobody because of their character flaws. So it's important for us to use humility, for us to know our audience, for us to allow the Ruach to show us how to feed this audience and not think everybody need to be fed the same way. Even a doctor, he don't treat every patient the same. It depends on the patient, their history, what's going on with them. Even if two patients have the same disease, it's different ways that he got to deal with each patient in order to what? Get them well. Because everything ain't the medicine. Sometimes it's just the care for the person that has the person health speedily come forth. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes on that to show you how important it is to have humility. It's to be humble. It's to be a servant in your mentality. Not trying to push yourself, not trying to push titles, not trying to push none of that. But trying to push the kingdom, and your overall goal is what? To win people in the kingdom. So now I have to do self-evaluation and look at all the ways of what I'm doing as a leader, because I'm developing and I'm grooming myself and I'm coming into it. But the most important thing is to dig into myself and see areas that I need growth in and start developing those areas as I lead. Because I'm going to tell you this, you're not going to be, the Most High ain't going to wait till you become the perfect leader before he give you people. A lot of stuff you're going to learn on the way. But if you got men that can give you wisdom, give you insight, that can, you can get to where they're at without their same losses. That's the whole point of mentorship, is I want to get to where you at without your same losses. What took me 5 years or what took another brother 10 years to get should only take you 2 or 3. Why? Because you know all the ins and the do's and don'ts and the ins and outs that can make your what you're trying to do progress speedily until a greater level. So I wanted to say this. I'm going to sign off right here. I love you guys. I'm going to be trying to give you something maybe twice or 3 to 2 times in a week. And maybe once or twice a month we'll do a conference call on these matters and on these subjects. I'm not going to say every week because I know, we already got a lot going on, and I know I do. But maybe twice a month on a Sunday evening, we'll get together. We'll talk these things out. We'll discuss them, and we'll go from there. Give me feedback. Drop different feedback in the group. Let me hear what you think. Shalom.